So where are you from? I was just looking at the list of students, and as an open house, are you a prospective student or have you already applied to San Jose State?
I actually haven't gotten to apply yet. I'm planning on doing it soon.
Okay, so are you, where are you going to, are you going to school right now?
Yeah, I'm in high school right now.
Okay, so just so you know, and I don't want to make this sound like the hard sales pitch, but the application window for San Jose State is October 1st through November 30 every year. So you have till the end of this month to get your application in. And it often takes a little bit more than one afternoon to fill out the form. There's a few steps you'll have to do. So.
Yeah, I'll probably start on it today when after the meetings.
Okay, good. And you know how to do that, or have you been briefed on any of that?
My mom went to San Jose State, so I'll have her help me.
Good. So what department was she in?
I think she just ended up doing Parks and Rec or
Okay. And
stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure.
yeah, things may have changed a little bit. So what you're going to do, I'll share, I'm going to open up a browser and then I'm going to share it with you. So just the website that you want to go to, and when you Google it, there's a lot of fraud stuff going on. So you really want Cal State Apply, which is calstateapply.org. And when you open that website, it's going to look like this. And let's see if I got the right one. I hope I didn't just nail you down into one of the fraud ones. Those are related searches. I was looking for a different splash screen on this thing. So it looks like someone else is coming back on. Set. Okay. Hello, how are you? Looks like Teresita.
Hi, good, thank you. How are you?
Okay. So I was just talking with Emma, who's in high school now and thinking about applying. So the gist of the conversation is that the application window goes through the end of this month, and it does take a little bit while, and I think I got the wrong website. So let's just go to the SJSU website for a minute and try that and see if it's going to link me to that, because it used to be Cal State Apply was the site. So, and that one did not look like the right site. So. Okay. So the admissions office, this is for students, but this one here is apply to San Jose State. So that is through the admissions office. And they're going to link you to the websites for that application process. So I would actually start with the SJSU website. Have a chat going. It's Cal State edu/apply, not .org. So, and I actually warned you about the fraudulent websites and I took you down the path to that. Sorry about that. Okay. So Teresita, what are your plans and where are you from?
Santa Cruz High School, and I'm still undecided.
Okay. So so are you going to high school right now, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Where? Just out of curiosity. Okay, cool. So we got the Santa Cruz High School. And how about you, Emma? Where are you going to school?
I live in Tracy, so Kimball High School.
Okay, nice. So I'm going to pull up a document that I've been talking about. And I'm just going to kind of show you a couple of things. If you do end up going to school, what you have to do and what our degree program is all about. So let me find a PowerPoint that I have. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to share this one with you. Hi, Teresa, you're back.
I am back, and disregard my message. It looks like it's working. I didn't see it on my end. So,
What's that?
oh, I messaged you to start the recording, but it's doing it. So we're all set. Thank you.
I clicked that right away. So we're recording.
Awesome.
So we have just the two of you so far. Were there any other aviation inquiries in the overall session, Teresa?
Not that I heard that were specific to aviation, but it was mentioned a couple of times, which was great to hear. Talking about kind of influences between mechanical and aviation. So there was some discussion about kind of dual programs that are in the works.
Good. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, for Emma and Teresita, I just wanted to go through a couple of things. I started last month with our students, and this is a session that we do with ongoing students, but it's good for you guys too, so I just kind of kept it. So one of the things that we seem to have trouble with students who come in is they come in and they don't know what classes to take. And so I always start out, we have roadmaps on our website, we have plans of action and incoming things, but it all comes back to one source document, and that's our degree catalog. So I'm just going to go through that with you really briefly, and it's going to show you what the overall requirements are. But maybe you guys can tell me, and are we back down? Teresita, I think, left, it looks like. And now we just have Emma back. So Emma, are you doing any kind of courses like AP classwork or anything that's over in Tracy?
No, last year I took enhanced physics, but that's as much as I've
Okay.
really.
And good. So it's a clean slate when you start out, and that's a good thing. So I'll give you some pointers, and this is a thing that you can kind of keep in your, with you and just say, okay, this is a source of information. Because students will come in and they'll say, I have no idea what classes I'm supposed to take. And we can map that out a couple of different ways. And one of them is just simply with the university catalog. And I'll show you that. I'm going to stop this share and share a different, just a browser with you. This is the San Jose State website. I'll open a new instance of it and look at it. And when you're searching for stuff within San Jose State, there's a couple of different things that'll pop up. But if you click this, the search bar that pops up by itself is like a Google external search. If you click on search, that brings you to the SJSU search, which will bring you, it's internal to San Jose State. So things you find here are more relevant for the university. So I'm just going to type degree catalog, and that pops up for me. And when I search that, I get the SJSU catalog. This is it used to be a booklet that was published, and now it's just online, and it's great, but it does do a couple of things for you. And it's showing you how fast my internet is today. First off, if you look at it, it's the overall thing. This is the 21-22 academic catalog. That's what you'd be entering with. And if I look at the left side, there's all these different things, the colleges, and you went to a College of Engineering overall presentation this morning. And also within that is majors and programs. And we're the aviation program. So if I click on that, it's going to list them for me, and it lists every degree that's offered at the university from A to Z. And we're in aviation right between art and behavioral science. And so the programs, and this is true of every degree at State, depending on, it doesn't matter which one you do. Oops, there we go. There's going to be a series of classes you do to meet graduation requirements. And the university graduation requirements are primarily this thing they call general education. In that area, you're going to be taking some things like English, communications, like a public speaking class. You'll take history, Constitution, and California government. You'll take ethnic studies. You'll take arts and literature courses. So this is the kind of program that rounds out what you're learning in your actual major. But in the major, there's some courses that are prep courses. So that's math, physics, and some statistics course and some other things. So that's called prep for the major. And then the major itself, there's a core, which is a few classes, and then the specific degree that you do. In aviation, we offer 4. What were you kind of interested in? What caught your attention when you looked at aviation?
I don't know. It's just I've always kind of liked flying, so I think, furthering my studies in that would be a fun opportunity.
Good. Have you, when you say you always like flying, is that like airline travel, or have you flown with someone in a small plane?
No, I'm actually looking to get my private pilot's license at our local airport.
Good. There's a couple of schools at Tracy, at the airport in Tracy, and also Livermore, and of course, San Jose. If you drive a little further, that's the ones that we work with. We have 4 degree options. And if you actually are interested in flying and flying as a career, the programs that we offer, so that I just explained all those, as I scroll down through this, the general ed, the history, the math, the physics, and then the core classes, these are courses that every aviation student takes. And then we have 4 specializations. And one of those is professional flight. Those are students who want to be a pilot, a professional pilot as a career. And so the other one is called flight operations. And I'll kind of show you, it sounds like you might be interested in one or the other of those if you joined us. The professional flight students learn to fly, and they actually have to as a requirement for the degree. So these 2 courses, like Aviation 2 and 3, are the private pilot certificate. And then they go on and do an instrument rating, where they learn to fly without referenced outside, so you can fly by instruments. And then the last one that we do is the commercial pilot certificate. And that's where our students graduate with that particular set of qualifications. And there's one giant step they have to make after that, and that's to be an airline transport pilot. So when they graduate as a commercial pilot with a bachelor's degree, they then have to go out and get a bunch of flight experience in order to be airline qualified. So that's how they do it. The other guys do the operations program, and it's very, very similar, except for we don't require the flight training. And lots of our flight operations students are actually aspiring to be pilots as well. But there's a couple of things about learning to fly. One, it's kind of expensive, and the other, it's really, really time consuming. So some of these students have found out that they'd rather do their college degree first and then learn to fly afterwards. The ones doing the professional flight program are cramming it all together. And I can tell you the one thing, if you actually are interested in doing this program and you are planning to go out and learn to fly, like start this summer, go do it, because in every case, every student we've ever had, it takes them longer to get their private pilot certificate than they imagined it would. So it takes lots and lots of training and a lot of drive to do that. So is that something you're interested in?
Yeah.
It's not, to me, I did it years and years ago, and it wasn't work for me because it was too much fun. But other students, they start and they find out they're not really that thrilled about it, or that it's harder than they thought. So they thought, well, we'll do something different. But many of our students do this program and go through all their ratings while they're going to school. And while you're doing it, unlike if you just go out to the airport and learn to fly, you'll learn a lot of theory and a lot of hands-on training when you're learning to fly. But if you're here, you're doing that and you're wrapping all of these other courses around that knowledge base. So aerodynamics and aircraft systems and propulsion and avionics, the electronics aspects of it. So you're learning more and more about what you're actually doing than your flight instructor can possibly teach you in the lessons while you're getting that private pilot certificate. So I think it's a really good way to start that career if that's what you're interested in. You're ready to commit to a career for the rest of your life today, Emma?
I think we'll figure that out eventually.
I'm joking. So I know it's a stressful time for high school students thinking, oh my gosh, I have to, apply to school. And yeah, you do have to apply and do that, but lots of our students change. They come in and they say, I want to be a professional pilot. Then they say, you know what, I really love aviation and I like to fly for fun, but I don't want to be a professional pilot. I like some of the other jobs that are more oriented towards flight operations. And we also have another one that you would be eligible for too, and that's aviation management. And students who do that program are going through essentially a pretty intensive management training course, but it's all oriented towards aviation. So many of those grads are going off and doing jobs like being a manager at an airport, or in the case of big airports like Oakland or San Francisco, it's not just one person, it's an entire team. So they're part of those teams. So that's another avenue for students in our program. And the good part about it is that those specializations are important, but with this core that we do up in the front end, the core classes, you're taking a lot of classes that are common. So you don't have to actually choose which one you're doing until you're pretty well into it. So that gives you that latitude. What other kinds of things have you thought about?
Major wise?
Yeah.
Maybe aerospace or mechanical engineering.
Okay. So yeah, and those programs are similar but different. So aerospace engineering and mechanical engineering have a lot of common ground. Those are design programs. So our program is oriented towards operators. I think we just had someone and lost her. So actually hands-on flying the airplane. The design people are the ones who design those products, and they go to work usually for one of the major airframe companies like a Boeing, or in Airbus, or even the Gulfstreams and the Cessnas are out there hiring people too. There is one common theme in this entire industry, and it says it doesn't matter which avenue you go down, there are so many openings for jobs right now. It's incredible. So you have great opportunities for getting out there and starting a career. So what kinds of things have you thought about besides that? Mechanical and aerospace, aviation? Have you visited any other schools?
I visited Cal Poly and I went to San Jose State, but we went on the weekend, so there wasn't any tours open.
Okay. You go to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo or Pomona?
San Luis Obispo.
What'd you think?
It was a really nice campus, yeah.
It is. It's gorgeous there. They have a aeronautical engineering program that's pretty much one of the best in the industry too. I'm not trying to sell ours short, but theirs is if you're going in the aeronautical engineering field, that's the place to go. But the other thing may be a plus or minus. If your family lives in Tracy and you go to school in San Jose, you can actually go home once in a while without having to drive for a long time. So that could be a plus, or maybe that's something you'd rather be further from home. I don't know. So
I'm close enough that I can come home when I want, but I can still have my space.
Perfect. And bring the laundry. So I had a student, prospective student come in from Ohio, and he and his family were here. And I asked him, it's like, Ohio State is one of the premier aviation schools in the country, and they lived in Columbus, which is where Ohio State is. And the kid kind of looked at me. I said, why wouldn't you go there? And he looked at me and goes, it's too close to home. So I don't think he came to state. I think he ended up going to North Dakota or something like that. So, but anyway, so do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
So if I'm kind of looking to be a pilot in the Navy eventually
Oh, good.
after, college and stuff, what what do, what major do you think would be most beneficial?
Can you hang on for just a second? I got to grab this one because I know who it is. Hello, this is Dan. Hey, Emma, I need to go set something up for somebody. I'll be right back. Give me like a minute and I'll be right back.
All right.
And we'll revisit that question I just asked you. I'm back. So where were we?
Like if I want to pursue flying in the Navy eventually, what major do you think would help benefit me the most?
Probably. So they're not going to be too worried about what your degree is. I would recommend the aviation degree with the flight operations. And the reason for that is that if you do naval aviation, they don't really want you to have your ratings. I mean, your private pilot certificate, you can. I'm not as familiar with the Navy as I am with the Air Force protocol. But if you were to actually earn your private pilot certificate now, or while you were going to school, that would be a plus when you go to apply as a pilot. If you get a pilot spot in the Navy, there's a few different screenings they do, and I'll give you the Air Force rundown. They do this thing called initial flight screening, and they take you out to Pueblo, Colorado, to this flight school, and you fly 13 hours of instruction, and you actually solo, and they find out if you actually have the aptitude to fly. Like, do you have no depth perception and it's hard to land, or do you get violently ill with air sickness, any of that stuff. And if you have a private pilot certificate, they'll waive that realm with the initial flight screening. After that comes, they call it IPT, initial pilot training, and that's the start of an 18-month program. So you do the basic flight, in a high performance airplane, all the way through your instrument rating skills, and effectively you're training up to the same level that civilian pilots would call the airline transport pilot certificate. And then they do the track select where what kind of airplane. And in the Air Force, it's fighters and heavies. The Navy has essentially the same thing. They have transports and they have fighters, but they also have helicopters. I think the Air Force has a few helicopters too, but so that would be this one. Doing the flight operations would be kind of the lead in or the plus to it. And the classes that you would be taking in this program will be helpful when you're doing all that flight school stuff. It's gonna be like drinking from a fire hose, from, if you will. They're gonna be feeding you so much knowledge so quickly, it's scary. But what you might think about, let me stop this for a second and look. I want to look something up while we're not sharing. It's like, so I know that there we go. Looking for Navy ROTC programs that you might be interested in. Okay. Okay. Have you thought about that at all? Doing like a Navy ROTC program?
I have. I think it's just a little too soon out of high school. Like, I still need that time to really get in the shape that they require.
Okay. That's a valid concern. You know, yeah, I mean, you need a starting point, but so anyway, I was just kind of pulling up the let's see, where did my Zoom session go? That I was looking up that we have an Air Force ROTC detachment on site at San Jose State, and there's an Army ROTC detachment at Santa Clara University, which is really not too far from us. So we have students that attend both of them. And the reason they're doing that is they get scholarship money for school so they can attend. And the other one is that gives them a real plus for inroads into getting that pilot position in the Air Force when they get done with school. So, and right now it's pretty good because all of the branches have a shortage of pilots. So if you're qualified and you seek it out, you'll probably be able to get that pilot spot. But anyway, it's another one of those things where you're gonna hang up the phone and go, God, what am I getting myself into? How soon do I have to do this? Do I have to make career choices right now? They're going to affect me for the rest of my life. And the answer is no, not really. You have time to make those decisions. So still with me, Emma?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my advice to you. If you're a little apprehensive about what you're going to do, the college application process is pretty similar around the state and even the out-of-state schools. The application process is pretty much now. But that being said, so what you should do is apply to multiple schools. If you're curious about what you want to do and you haven't decided yet, you should open those options up and then decide later when you really have to, which is, not until this summer, but, so you can weigh all these decisions and make them, but you have to have the options in front of you in order to do that. And I realize that it costs money to apply to multiple schools, but it's probably worth it. Like if you're thinking Cal Poly or San Jose State or even another school, then great. Or another option is community college for a couple of years to knock out a bunch of general ed classwork and the prep courses for any of those programs, and then apply after another year or so of doing community college work. So the door is kind of open. What we see here is students will apply, thousands of them, and thousands will get accepted. Not all of them, but most, or not. I'm not even going to say that. Top students get accepted. So they'll get an offer saying you're accepted. We need here's an offer letter, and they'll accept that. And they'll say, okay, I'm coming to state. And then out of the students who actually sign that acceptance letter, what they're doing is stalling their decision. Only about 25% of those actually show up on the first day of school. Stand by 1 second. What's up?
Humboldt messed up. They sent the delivery guy with the truck that doesn't have a pump. So if we had a fuel system where we could pump it ourselves, so he can't deliver it basically.
Oh,
There's no way to pump it off of his truck into ours. So they said might want to call. He's calling dispatch right now saying I can't undo it, but you might want to call Titan and
yeah.
you guys messed up. So
Yeah, that's always been a requirement for us.
yeah.
We can't do it off truck to truck with our system, can we? Okay, all right.
I just wanted to give you a heads up.
You still with me, Emma?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta make a phone call. I apologize for that. When I teach at San Jose State, I'm there part-time, and I also run a business down at San Martin Airport at San Martin, California. So a little ways from San Jose. So, and Fridays are always a challenging day when you're in the aircraft business. So give me just a minute and I'll call our fuel company. Hey, Emma. Oh. Did you take a break or are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. So do you have any other questions about our program, or do you want to join one of the other ones, the aerospace one, and see what they're up to?
Yeah, I think aerospace starts at noon.
Okay. All right. So then do you have any other questions of me before we wrap that up? This up?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, then let's go ahead and end this one. I'm going to get a hold of Teresa and see if she has anything else. Or I'm going to stay on for it because there might be another student who's over in one of the other sessions now that's joining late or something. So it was definitely nice meeting you. I look forward to hopefully we'll see your application. And it sounds like you're a little apprehensive about the whole thing.
No, I'm definitely interested. I'm not too sure what I want to do yet, or which path to take to do it. It's just,
Okay, yeah, I kind of like the military pilot scheme. That's actually a pretty challenging and rewarding area. So, but that's all for you to decide. So, okay, then I'm going to go ahead and mute this and turn off the camera and stand by, just kind of wait for the next 20, 30 minutes to see if anyone else shows up. So,
all right, have a nice day.
okay, let me throw one thing up there first. If you want to jot this down, if you, let me go back to this PowerPoint. This is what I do with my advisees, my students. This is my contact information right here, and that's my cell number. And the other way to contact me is my email, which is daniel.bennett at sjsu.edu. So if you want to screenshot that or just write it down, that's, if you have any questions, if you think of anything going forward, don't hesitate to call or email.
All right, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, all right. You guys, you have a great afternoon.
You too.
Okay, bye.